And thank you for joining us for NCSO 360. My name is Robert Grant, the Public Information Officer here at the Nassau County Sheriff's Office. Welcome.
Yeah, and I'm Alicia Tarancon. I'm the Director of Public Affairs here at the Nassau County Sheriff's Office. And really, we're so excited to bring you our first episode. This has been years in the making. I know Sheriff and I talked about it for a while. I want to say maybe 2 years ago we were talking about it.
It's about 2 years ago. I think we were discussing doing something like this, yeah.
And here it finally is. And of course, we couldn't do it alone. We had a lot of help. I do want to give some shout outs. The St. Johns County Sheriff's Office, their PIO unit, they let us come in. They helped us with a lot of the different technology and equipment. So we want to give a special shout out there. But also, internally, we have some really smart folks that work here at the Nassau County Sheriff's Office that help put this together. She's behind the scenes right now, but Danielle and Thomas, they really helped hook up our equipment, kind of explained how it works, because
we didn't know.
Let's face it, Robert and I, we were lost. So a big shout out to them too. Miss Tina as well. She helped get a lot of the different items, the big star that you see here on our desk. Caleb, big shout out to him because he put up all of the sound paneling. He put up this really cool light detail behind us. So really, we couldn't do it without the help of a lot of our NCSO family. So we are really excited to go ahead and bring you this first episode.
And we introduced ourselves, man who does not need an introduction, Sheriff Yulee. Sheriff, what was your intention, I think, behind starting this podcast, and what do you think it adds to our platforms of that we have across the board?
Well, we always want to communicate with our citizens, keep our community informed on what's going on. I love the sign, NCSO 360. I mean, that emphasizes that we will be talking about the entire agency. So get our citizens kind of a inside look at what we do here, all the good work we do. Fantastic employees we have, certainly a lot smarter than me. But we're glad to be able to start this for our very first podcast. I want to thank you, too, for your expertise and being able to manage this better than me.
It only took us a couple of years.
Yeah. But I appreciate everybody that's been involved in this.
Well, and speaking of NCSO 360, obviously a full view of everything we have going on. And our first topic for our first episode is a pretty big investigation, so we'll have that coming up next.
Well, welcome back to our first podcast episode. And of course, what we're going to talk about next, this has really been the talk of the town here in Nassau County. It's gotten a lot of attention, especially from our local media. But it is the arrest of our armed bank robbery suspect over at First Federal Bank. This happened over on October 10th. Pretty crazy story. Our suspect goes into the bank. He's brandishing a gun. He gets two of the tellers to actually get into the vault and load up money for him before locking them in the vault. And it took weeks long in this investigation to actually track him down, and it led to his arrest over in Georgia. But of course, I'm no expert on the case. We're going to pass the buck over here.
Yeah, we got Lieutenant Cedric Arline with the Criminal Investigations Division, who does not know what to do with his hands.
We had this long discussion right before this segment started. Hands on the table, hands in your lap.
Just as long as you have hands. That's a good thing.
What do we do?
Cedric, first set the scene for us. I mean, I know there was so much that led up to this investigation, so much that even happened just moments leading up to the first call that we got and our deputies arrived.
Correct. It was a scene out of a fairy tale book line. When you get the call, you have the tellers were locked in the vault when our first deputy arrived on the scene. At that time, he was just trying to coordinate, get everyone in place so that we could attempt to locate or track this individual down, get as much information out over the radio to units that were responding. So when I arrived, we started to comb everything and make sure we had a good identifying of the guy's vehicle, his looks, how he walked, and so on and so forth, and get that out onto social media.
I think that brings up a good point, is the importance of social media and getting out that bulletin.
Correct.
Which we did pretty much immediately on Facebook.
Yes.
Why is that so key to any investigation, but especially in this one?
Well, in this case, it was because we didn't have so much information on what his vehicle looked like because he didn't park it close by. So that information was, hey, if someone did run across this individual or had the potential to run across this individual, we wanted to let them know that he's possibly armed and dangerous, and that, hey, notify the Nassau County Sheriff's Office because this was the incident that we were currently investigating. So all that information needed to be funneled back towards us so we could get units en route or have those authorities respond to that incident.
And I mean, you're talking about it being almost something out of a fairy tale book line. I mean, just bank robberies in general. We watch a lot of movies,
Yes.
Ocean's 11, Tower
Yes.
Heist. Sheriff, I mean, a county like Nassau County, how common is something like this?
Well, this is very rare here. I can only think since I've been sheriff, maybe one other time something like this has happened.
Yes, sir.
You hear about it occasionally in other parts of the state or country, but we really don't go across here. And I can't, when something like this happens, I mean, our deputies, our investigators just did an amazing job responding, trying to get description of the individual, get that out, try to look at other businesses, cameras and stuff, see if they could see where this individual went when he left the bank, what vehicle he may have got in, and tracking all that. And it's just, the coordinated effort you have to do that, not only with our agency, but also coordinating with other agencies. It's just, it's amazing to see. I'm so proud of our people.
Well, thank you, Sheriff.
And I think, Sheriff, you bring up a good point, is talking about all the agencies and our partners that were involved in this. And I know, Cedric, you've mentioned this several times as well.
Yeah.
Who was all involved, and how do you complete an investigation? It's not just us.
Well, so we, our detectives, we went out and about to make sure that we had all the information, and we couldn't have had a complete site picture without involving our partners. And our partners for this incident was the Georgia Bureau of Investigations, the Bryan County Sheriff's Office, who have, completely, without them, we would not have successfully been able to catch this guy, to the Evans County Sheriff's Office in Georgia, also to Jeff Davis Sheriff's Office in Georgia, our Georgia Department of Corrections, who assists us in identifying this individual, and also the U.S. Marshal Service and the Georgia State Patrol. They were all instrumental in apprehending our suspect when he left the home.
I think you're starting to mention there even just so many agencies that were from Georgia.
Correct.
How did we track this suspect from here in Nassau County, Florida, up to Georgia? Now, obviously, we can't get into all of the specifics,
Yes.
but what you can get into.
So it was traditionally, it was real live, old school police work. So the suspect did everything in his power to, hide his identity, hide his vehicle, and so on and so forth. So we had to rely on putting boots on the ground, going from storefront to storefront, and anywhere that we could locate that individual's vehicle on a camera, we started to track him that way. So we had detectives in Georgia at stores looking at store video, and when they would catch the glimpse of the vehicle, they would notate, yes, we have this vehicle, and we would track them from store to store to store. We tracked them all the way to Jessup, Georgia, at which point we were able to catch a break at that point.
I mean, I would say, with all the technology nowadays, there's so much new technology coming out all the time that we are utilizing, but sometimes it's just old-fashioned investigative work that solves these cases, and that's just exactly what he did. And Nassau County is kind of in a vulnerable area. We're right at the Georgia border.
Yes, sir.
Jacksonville to the south, so a lot of these criminals think they can sneak into Nassau County and commit crimes and leave and think they're safe. But it's incumbent on us to do the proper investigative work, to work with other agencies to make sure that if they're committing crimes here, they're committing crimes other places too. So we have to work together to make sure we solve these things.
Yeah, and just what was it like to you? Just October 20th is, when he was finally arrested,
Yeah.
but just getting that call from some of our Georgia partners that he had been located.
Well, we just going to let you know that our investigative team was on the ground, boots on the ground in Bryan County when the U.S. Marshals and Georgia State Patrol took him into custody. We eventually ended up serving and executing a search warrant in the state of Georgia with their assistance, of course. And that was awesome when they said, hey, we have him in custody, we're bringing him back to their jail. So
How does that feel for you, Cedric, when you have, we already mentioned stuff like this does not happen often in Nassau, and you see all the work you and your detectives are doing to track this guy down, and then you get him into custody. What's that moment like for you?
Well, I'm going to tell you, it's like the sheriff said, it was not me, it was our team. We have a great group of detectives, and when I say great group of detectives, I mean in that unit, it was all boots on the ground, from our criminal investigator division, which are detectives that do criminal cases day in, day out, to our narcotics, to our real-time crime center analysis, to our victim advocate and our crime scene unit. We all converge to take on tasks and complete those tasks to develop this information. So when this came to fruition, it was exciting, a great deep breath, exhale moment, and it's just like awesome because we actually collared the guy who came down here to terrorize our citizens. So it was awesome.
And when you look at all those different units that are working together, they're all separate, but they all have the same common goal, is to gather the evidence, gather their information to make sure we find this individual. And, there were some out in the community didn't think we would ever find him.
But we
But
did.
I had no doubt with the team we have here and the people we have that, and the job that I know they can do, there was no doubt that I knew we would find this fellow. And we're going to get him back here in the jail, and we're going to make sure he pays for what he did here in Nassau County.
Yes, sir. That's awesome.
And Sheriff, really, lastly, because you've had a lot of people come up to you about this case, and you put it out this week that we did in fact catch him. What's your message to the community? Because this was an individual who was a career criminal. He had a lengthy record out there.
Yeah, he had been in prison in Georgia for several years, and he was let out by the previous presidential administration right toward the end of the year, and he certainly didn't learn his lesson. He continued down that criminal path. So my message is that, we want our community to be as safe as possible. That's what we work every day for. That's what we train for. And, people commit crimes here, we're going to find you, and we're going to hold you accountable, no matter who you are. So if you're thinking about committing a crime in Nassau County, I would think twice about that.
Absolutely. Agree there.
Well, thank you both for being here for our first podcast episode. Again, we have something special coming up right after this break.
And welcome back. We've got several holidays coming up this month. We have Veterans Day next week, such an important holiday, honoring and recognizing those who've served our country, and then, of course, Thanksgiving. I want to first talk about Veterans Day because veterans offer such an important background, I think, when we bring them to law enforcement after, which we do here at the Nassau County Sheriff's Office. So, Sheriff, I want to ask you about that first. The importance of recruiting veterans and what they bring to our agency here.
Well, Veterans Day is very important to me. My dad served in the Navy when he was younger, and it's my daughter's birthday. So I always remember that. But, our veterans, they've served our country all over the world, and they want to come back home and serve their community. So we like to recruit veterans because they love serving the country, serving their community, and they have a lot of talent, a lot of experience and education to come in to their community to work for a sheriff's office or a local agency and keep their community safe.
Yeah, we are very thankful for them. I, too, come from a military family, grew up an Army brat, so we are, of course, very thankful for their sacrifices, for their services. And, of course, we want to talk about Thanksgiving, too, because, I mean, everyone's always excited about that holiday. And we kind of want to end this segment by talking about our favorite meal. It's a hard one for me, but don't laugh, Robert. He laughed when I said I liked mashed potatoes. I love mashed potatoes smothered in butter with some seasoning. I think he thinks I'm basic, but that's okay.
It's a little basic, but I'll give you a pass.
You like the red potatoes or the brown potatoes?
I like the red potatoes with the skin.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
You ever have the little red potatoes where you just smash them and then toast them in the oven or something?
I will take any type of potato. I love it.
Okay.
All right, so potatoes for you.
Potatoes for me.
All right, Sheriff.
I like it all. Kind of like Lieutenant Arline. But the stuffing, corn, potatoes. I like all that stuff. You put it in front of me, I'll probably eat it.
All right, Cedric.
I would say mine would be the turkey. I like a good smoked turkey and then fried turkey. So you seal in the smoke and then crisp it up with a nice fry on the turkey. It's really
You
good.
got that nice smoky
Yes.
That
yes,
crispiness
yes.
makes it. Right?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. It's really good. Yes.
It's making me hungry right now.
flavor. It is almost lunchtime.
Danielle, what's your favorite? Throw you in there.
It's gotta be the pie.
Gotta be
Oh,
the
the
pie.
pie. That's
Yes.
The dessert.
Everyone.
Nice.
That is true.
Nice.
I'm a pumpkin pie girl. I love me
Yes.
some pumpkin pie.
I
I
would
didn't
agree
say
there.
mine, I guess. I think I like the stuffing.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Okay.
like stuffing.
All right.
Well, again, thank you guys for listening to our first ever podcast episode of NCSO 360. We do want to put it out there. If you have any questions or you have any suggestions, feel free to reach out at pio@nassauso.com.
Yeah, and we want to wish everybody a very happy Veterans Day and a happy Thanksgiving as well.
And what's your message, Sheriff?
Stay safe, Nassau.